Hi, welcome back to 16 Tank Workshop. I recently showed you the opening of the latest addition to the collection, the Bailey Bridge from Armortek. The Armortek Bailey Bridge, it's pretty much all steel construction. All the large components come wrapped in cling film and are heavily oiled to protect them from corrosion. So, opening most of the parts, they were in very good condition, very little corrosion. One or two of the small brackets had problems with, but it wasn't something I wasn't expecting. It is steel after all, so it will corrode. So a couple of bags were quite heavily corroded, but all of the brackets and parts anyway, once everything was degreased, I was cleaning in Evaporust. The Evaporust did a very good job of cleaning off any corrosion that was there. With the kit, you get an instruction manual. You get a bag containing all the fasteners you need to complete the kit. Most of the fasteners are steel button heads, M2, M3 and M4 in various sizes. There's quite a lot of parts to the kit. At this stage I've cleaned and degreased most of the parts. Once degreased, I've immediately started to etch prime to make sure they don't corrode again. I had a video of all this process but lost everything. So I'll show you how I got along with the parts so far. And I'll also show you pretty much what's involved in an Armortek Bailey Bridge kit. Here I've laid out most of the components. You can see that most of the parts at this stage are etch primed. This is the main side structure. There's actually 16 of these. And quite a few of these long sections as well, the cross sections. These sections are the male and female joiners. They'll make up the male and female joiners and various other parts. There's quite a lot of parts of this kit and a very large number of brackets. Some of these brackets were a little bit corroded, but everything's cleaned up. Everything's now etch primed. These small brackets, part number 116. Going through the inventory, looking at the instructions, I concluded that I was left short of a few of these. I only had 8, whereas I actually need 16 to complete the kit. But I was on to Armortek and they've already arranged to ship the missing parts to me. I'd say it was simply a matter of getting a bag which was meant for the single span expansion rather than the full kit, but that won't be a problem to fix, and it'll be a while before I need them. You can see I have quite a few of these brackets cleaned and etch primed. The ones I don't need immediately I've wrapped in brown paper to stop them from getting scratched and keep them in some sort of protection. I can access them as I need them. Same for the other parts. Just keep out what I need immediately and wrap everything else up. The main side structures fit together like this, so it may be difficult to get paint onto the inside at some stage, so my plan is to paint these before assembly. Many of the other parts I'm using a red primer over the etch primer. I can put them together and paint them in the final colour once the structures are completed. You can see I've got quite a few bags of parts. These are the planking supports, quite a few of them to open, degrease and etch prime. That'll be the next task for etch priming. So far in etch priming all the parts I've used about 3 cans of U-Paul etch primer. This is the product I'm using for etch priming, same as I'm using for the Panzer III, but about 3 cans of this so far. And following that, I'll use red primer or the base coat, but I'll most likely coat everything in red primer first. The fasteners come in plastic bags with the number of each fastener on the front of the bag, but I like to get an organizer for the fasteners of each kit. Here we have the M2s, various M3s. You can see there's quite a lot of fasteners involved, and mainly button heads, size M2, M3 and M4, with accompanying nuts. And these will be for holding the various sections together, the pins to hold the sections together. So it'll be easy enough to work from this to find, and I've written on the front of the box exactly what each part is. Quick look over the instructions. You get a list of the tools they recommend you have, and also a description of the type of fasteners, but most of these are button heads. An inventory. You have an inventory listing the part numbers. One thing that is missing that I would like to see in future is the number of each part. They don't actually specify the number of each part. It's actually written on the packages of each, but it would be much easier if they were here as well. As with so many parts, I removed them from the packages, and in some cases it was a bit of investigation to find out how many parts I should have. But at least that gave me familiarization with the instructions. And that's where I came up with knowing that I was missing 8 of these parts. So again, Armortek, if you're watching this video at some stage, please put the number of each of the components on the parts list as well. It would make checking the inventory much easier, and even better, a picture of each of the parts. You can see here a photo of a completed Armortek Bailey Bridge, but this one has 3 spans. I've actually seen this one in the factory. The kit itself just comes with 2 spans. They were selling an expansion, but there were no expansions available when I was getting mine. But I think based on the size, I think I have just enough space for 2 spans anyway. And you get the instructions then of exactly which components and then which fasteners you need. It's quite repetitive. There isn't a lot to the kit other than quantity of parts, so it should go together fairly quickly. These are the parts you can see in the bags behind, which I haven't cleaned, degreased and sprayed yet. So that's the next job. Also, the timber for the deck doesn't come with the kit. I'd say it's various CITES problems with transporting timber, so you have to source your own timber for the decking, but they do give you the dimensions you require. So another job will be to try and source at a reasonable cost the wood I need for the decking. And finally, you have the instructions on how the bridge actually bolts together. So looking forward to starting on assembly of the bridge. I'm hoping my son Alex, aged 11, will help. I think he's looking forward to it as well, but it's difficult sometimes to get him away from his computer games. To start with, I'll assemble these long sections, these long supports. They're held in place with 9 M3x6 button heads. I've used the red primer where they meet each other, so quite a bit of paint protection in between. There's quite a few of these sections to assemble, but I'll assemble them and get them out of the way until they're needed. And then next, another straightforward assembly, which will be to assemble these male and female end joints. Quite a few of them to be assembled, but it's just repetitive. And once they're done, they can be put aside until I'm ready for them. A friend who's also building a Bailey Bridge sent me a sample of the paint he used. I believe it's referred to as pale dog shit brown. So I'm hoping to get some of this made up locally. I'll get it in aerosol form, and I'll probably get about 4 cans. Hopefully that'll be enough to do. And once I have the aerosols made up, I can go ahead with the main side assemblies as well. So spraying some more small parts. And primer. It's a bit windy today for spraying. Here's some of the larger parts that I've sprayed. These are just drying nicely. I'm storing all the small components of the bridge in my tool chests until I need them. Everything will be stacked away neatly. This will stop the parts from getting scratched. And also everything will be tanned when I need it. Packets are numbered and others are out ready to use. That's one drawer full. And that's the next drawer squared away. So this is Alex, and he's helping me build the bridge. We're starting off with the transom assembly. And this goes together 2 pieces with M3x6 button head screws. Yeah, you can do each screw just by finger and then tighten up at the end. Do a few as well. Does it say on the instructions, Alex, how many of these we have to build?
Build 12 identical.
12 of them, okay. This is a great starter kit because it's got a lot of repetitive building. You like Meccano, don't you?
Yep.
Lego. What's your favourite to build, Meccano or Lego?
Lego.
What's your favourite Lego set?
Don't know. The F1 cars.
Yeah. And you built the Tiger tank, didn't you? That's not Lego.
That wasn't Lego.
One done. And on to your next one. With help from Alex, we've just built the 12 identical assemblies, the transom assembly. Next, we have the female end post and the male end post. So once the paint is dry, I've put a coat of red primer on it. Once the paint is dry, we can start assembly of these parts. Here's the components you need to make one of the end posts. So we'd start off by fitting this, and for this we use the M3x6 button heads. Bracket here. This fits with two M4x20 button heads. So with the female section, the longer part goes to the outside. And this goes again with M4x20 button heads. So that's a female end post assembly. They're quite repetitive. I'll let Alex build a few of these when he's ready. And now Alex is going to show how to make the male end post assembly. His fingers are smaller than mine, so it should be easier. You need extra hands.
Can you hold it again?
You need clean fingernails. You're worse than me. Okay, I have to do these bits. Best thing about this building is I got to have a beer. Although it's alcohol free. Is that one done?
Yep.
Very good. Okay, so we leave it there for now. Thanks for watching. Stay subscribed if you want to see more on the Bailey Bridge. Hopefully getting some progress very soon. Again, apologies that I lost most of the cleaning and preparation work on video, but the main thing will be to see how it's put together and to get some tanks rolling across it.